Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be doing a 24-ounce snow globe, and this is going to be a Christmas themed snow globe. And we're going to start off by making the hole to put in our liquid and our glitter. You could use a drill, but I don't recommend it because you can crack these. So I just use this hot fix tool from Amazon. Once you get your hole, you want to make sure you push down on the first layer, not the second, because you will literally just make a hole throughout the whole cup. And then you want to take like pliers or whatever you can on hand to take out the bottom piece of the hole. Now we're going to start by adding our glitter. This is the best method that works for me. I just squeeze my medicine cup and I just pour it all in there. I've seen people use a massage gun, but I don't think I would ever try it, to be honest. This is just what's been working for me so far, so it's what I stick to. Once you get all your desired glitter in, you want to give it a good shake so you don't get any glitter completely stuck at the bottom top of the cup. Now you want to start by filling up your tumbler with liquid. I do equal parts of distilled water and I was gonna say vinegar, distilled water and vegetable glycerin, and then I just shake it all up in this squeeze bottle and I start adding it. Now you can see at the bottom all the bubbles are starting to rise from the glitter. Before you fill up your cup with the liquid, you want to give your cup a really good shake. This will prevent any air bubbles and any glitter from clogging at the top of the tumbler. Once you're done filling up your cup and you notice you have a air bubble, you could take a syringe and try to squeeze or squirt in your liquid into that air bubble. Now to seal the bottom of this tumbler, we're going to be taking a Gorilla Glue dot for the hole. I like to sand the bottom of it down just so the UV resin can adhere a little bit better. You could also seal this with epoxy, but we are going to be sealing the entire tumbler with epoxy, so I decided to go with UV resin instead. Now you want to clean it up with alcohol and just a paper towel to get any debris or any oils off. And before you apply your glue dot, you want to make sure it is sealed, not sealed. I can't talk. It is cleaned from any oils or debris or any vegetable glycerin, because the vegetable glycerin will make the glue dot not stick to the hole. Now you just want to add a small amount to the area where the glue dot and the hole are. You want to take a small torch just to pop any air bubbles. And I kind of like to tilt my cup just to get an even layer, a first even layer on the bottom, just to make sure that the hole is actually covered. So I just tilt my cup to get it all spreaded evenly. Once you get it evenly spread, you want to cure this for about 2 to 3 minutes depending on the UV lamp that you have and the resin. Once you're done curing that, you want to take that same glitter that we used for the inside of the cup and you want to add a little bit of UV resin and mix it together just so you can cover the bottom with it. Once you're done pouring it to the bottom of the cup, you want to take your heat torch or your heat gun to pop any air bubbles. And you also want to cure this for about 2 to 3 minutes depending on the UV resin and the UV lamp you're using. Also, when you're adding the UV resin to the bottom of this cup, you want to make sure it's an even layer, meaning it's not going to make the cup wonky or like kind of, yeah, like wonky. So the cup will sit flat. So you want to make sure that the layer is very, very even. So now for the fun part, we're going to be adding the decals. I don't think I mentioned that this cup was going to be a Grinch themed cup. So I went with this file that I found on Etsy, and it's the little hands, and one side is pink and one side is green, and I just cut these out with my Cricut. I layered them, and now I'm adding them to the top of the logo. I also wanted to add some type of lettering or quote or a name, so I decided to go with Grinchmas, and I cut it out with my Cricut as well. I did an offset just because I feel like if I would have just left it red, it would have gotten lost with all the glitter in the cup. Once you're done applying all your vinyl to the cup, you want to make sure you rub it down really well, because we are going to be sealing this cup with epoxy. Now we're going to be adding the epoxy to our cup, and I believe I mixed 20 mLs of both part A and B, so total of 40, because I wanted to do a flood coat so I wouldn't have to go back and do another one. If we have to go back and do another one, we will, but I wanted to make sure that the vinyl was completely covered in the epoxy. I also added an epoxy additive, and that is a very fine cut glitter to give it an extra sparkle. And once I was done adding the layer of epoxy, I went ahead and took my heat torch very lightly, because this is plastic, and popped any air bubbles. Now I'm going to be adding rhinestones around the logo. I swear I could never leave anything alone. I was going to leave it just as is, but I feel like the logo needed a little bit more something, so I decided to go with white rhinestones. As for the lid, I was gonna add only rhinestones, but I decided to go with printable vinyl, and I added the same image that we added onto the cup of the little hands. So I sanded down the lid just to make sure the printable vinyl can adhere better to the lid. And we are gonna be sealing the printable vinyl with UV resin as well. I'm also going to be adding the same epoxy additive to the UV resin. Unfortunately, the shop that I got this from closed, but I believe my Aesthetic Creations has one similar to it, if not maybe a little bit different. You want to make sure when you're pouring your UV resin, you don't pour too fast so you don't get any dripping down the straw hole. And you want to spread it evenly as possible as you can, going with your heat torch to pop any air bubbles, and then cure from 3 to 5 minutes. Now we're going to be adding rhinestones to the lid, and I wanted to do something with pink and green other than red, because I feel like this cup has too much red with the red glitter. So I decided to go with pink and green, and I added the pink rhinestones to the side where the green hand is, and vice versa. And I also did the same for the side of the lid. For the glue, I'm using Liquid Fusion, and I like to let this sit for about 2 to 3 days just to make sure it adheres properly and it cures. And then I like to take my lid to the sink and wash it with very light soap and warm water to get any debris of the wax pan or the oils off of the rhinestones. And that is pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I absolutely love how this came out. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you're notified whenever we do upload. And also subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching.